Welcome to an highlight on business for Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. I'm Janice Wissanan, Membership Director, and we have someone very special with us today. She has a little bit of a history with the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. We've got Dr. Melissa Billings. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. So, how did you start with the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce?
Well, we joined the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce back in 2003. We had just relocated one of our locations to Urbandale and really wanted to get involved in the community. At the time that I met with the executive director, she explained the benefits of being in the chamber, and it was pretty much a no-brainer to join.
Wonderful. So you have been on the board, you've been a past president. How did you decide to get that ingrained in the culture there at Urbandale Chamber?
You know, I'm a native of Urbandale. I graduated from Urbandale High School. My family still lives there. I just have a lot of pride in the community. And as a new doctor in the area, I really wanted to become involved, drum up more business, but also just give back to the community that gave so much to me. And so when I joined the chamber, the very first thing I did was became a chamber ambassador. So I was new to the chamber, but I wanted to also welcome new members to the chamber as well. And then through that, just got more and more involved, was asked to take on a board position, went through all the chairs of the board, and served as president in 2010. And then now they keep pulling me back in for other committees, which is fun to do as well.
You are on one big committee right now.
I am. I'm the chairperson for the Urbandale Dash, but I am also the co-chair for the Total Resource Campaign.
Those are a couple big projects, big commitments.
They
for
are,
time-wise.
but I tell you what, it is so worth it to just be that involved in the chamber and really get excitement brewing in all kinds of areas.
So you talked about the ambassadors.
Yes.
And the ambassadors, really, you must have paved the way, because in 2013, the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce ambassadors changed their names to connectors.
They did, yes.
And I would say you probably paved the way to that, because I've heard and experienced that the connectors really are that extending arm of the chamber, but what they do best is connecting individuals.
They really do. Connectors are so important. Whenever a new member joins the chamber, the scariest thing to do is to walk into a room and not know one single person. And so the connectors do a wonderful job of finding those people, making sure they're making connections with other people. We want to do business with people that we know and trust and like, and you know, it's building those relationships, and the connectors definitely help do that.
Great. So what you have a couple of daughters.
I
at
do.
home,
I have 2 girls, a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old.
and you have a fur baby also, don't you?
I do. I have a 1.5-year-old fur baby named Molly. She's little.
So outside of when you're not at the clinic being a doctor, what are your passions? What are your hobbies? Those 2 girls probably keep you pretty busy.
They do. You know, both of them play softball, and I actually am the assistant coach for my daughter's 8U team. My husband's the head coach for the 10U softball team, so we spend a lot of time on the softball fields. My daughters play basketball, they play volleyball, so we're always traveling around, and we're highly active in our church. I volunteer for the Awana program as a listener in our church, and I also teach Sunday school to the first and kindergartners at our church. So that's a lot of fun. In my free time, I enjoy running. I run half marathons and a couple 5Ks throughout the year. I love kickboxing. I'll watch any Ohio State Buckeye sport, which is amazing. I love spending time with my family.
I thought that was interesting. You said in your free time you like doing all these things, and I'm thinking, how in the world do you have any free time?
Well, it's 6 in the morning's good.
Good thing that you're a morning person.
Yes,
then.
yes.
So I'm lucky enough to be one of your patients, and I have experienced a complete level of different care through your business. So tell me, how did you create that? How do you make such a different experience?
Our motto is we see things differently, and you will too. And Vision Park it was the practice that I grew up in as a patient. And when I was trying to figure out what area of medicine I wanted to go into, Dr. Bolter, who was my childhood doctor, said, hey, why don't you come in for the summer and work here as an assistant, just to see if you like it? And I said, great. And I fell in love with it. Went to college for 4 years, went to optometry school for 4 years at Ohio State, and came back and actually rejoined the practice where I'm now one of the owners. We went from an all-male practice back in 1929 to now an all-female practice, and we've just grown throughout the years. The neat thing about our practice is that we're not just checking for glasses and contact lenses. We do so much more than that. We do low vision examinations. We do ocular disease, whether it's for glaucoma or macular degeneration. We do pre-op and post-op appointments for LASIK and for cataracts. We also have a vision therapy clinic. It's a very unique niche in optometry that not many people have. In fact, we're one of 3 offices in the Des Moines area that actually offer vision therapy for rehabilitating people's vision, whether it's a child in school who is struggling with reading, with words moving, rereading lines, skipping place, not remembering what they're reading, to adults who've gone through traumatic brain injury, to children who have autism. And so that's one of the things that we offer that makes our office a little different from others.
Tell me about your patients age-wise. How old are your patients?
Well, the youngest patients we see are usually about 6 months of age. All of our doctors volunteer for the infancy program, which we offer free infant eye examinations for infants between 6 and 12 months of age. Just because if you can find something that's not working together with the eyes at such a young age, it's something that we can treat instead of catching it when it's really far gone when they're in elementary school. My oldest patient I saw was 99 years old, and I tell you what, she probably had better vision than most 20-year-olds.
Oh, my.
Pretty amazing. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
So along the way, you did talk about the doctor
Mm-hmm.
that had been an influence, but who else? Who else in your life have been that influence to make you into who you are?
I can think of 2 people specifically, and they're both family members. And one was my grandmother. I actually lived with her for 3 years. She introduced me to my faith. Just was the most amazing person you could meet. And the other one would probably be my father. He raised us as a single dad when I was in 3rd grade, and he's one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life. And so those 2 have really probably shaped me to be who I am today.
Well, I think they did a pretty good job shaping you.
Well,
So
thank you.
nicely done for them. So outside of work, we've already talked about your different hobbies and things like that. Do you like to read?
I do. I love reading. Reading's one of my passions. I learned to read when I was when I was 3. Actually, my mom taught me how to read. I've been reading forever. I don't get a lot of time to read, unfortunately. I read my Bible. I read little blurbs in magazines. I'm always reading the latest research in optometry. Reading my Facebook scroll every once in a while, grabbing a newspaper when I can, and reading books to my kids.
Excellent.
Yes.
How can people get a hold of you at the clinic?
Well, our Urbandale location, they can call me at 515-270-2490 or visit our website at www.vision-park.com. There's a way that you can reach us that way.
Okay. So who, living, deceased, who would you like to meet? Who would you like to sit down and have a cup of coffee with?
That's an excellent question. Somebody I've met before or somebody new or
Anybody,
Anybody.
whoever it is.
My
If
word.
you could choose a person, who would that be?
Well, besides Jesus, which I will
That's
be
a good
meeting
answer.
at some point.
I like that answer.
I really think I'd like to meet my grandmother again. I was so young when she passed away, and I would just really like that opportunity to ask more questions.
Outstanding. Well, thank you, Melissa, for being here and
Well, thank
joining
you.
us for Spotlight on Business for Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. Remember, at the Chamber, Tuesdays are special. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m., come in, join me for a cup of coffee. We'll sit down and it's Meet the Chamber. You can learn about the Chamber, get your questions answered, find out all the different things that you can get involved in, like Dr. Billings, if you're wanting to join a committee or to get some networking in. Just take advantage of all those benefits that we have. And again, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and thank you, Dr. Billings, for being our guest today. And I'm Janice Wisnan, signing off with the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce.